All right, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy what day is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, you guys. We are so excited to be on. Let's make sure that we're streaming to Facebook.
We should be up and ready.
Yeah, we're good. Good morning, guys. We are going to start waiting a little bit. There's some people on. I got it. Awesome. Well, good morning, you guys. We are just so excited to be on. For those that don't know us, we are Josh and Michelle Bomba, and we're really excited to be on even together. This is actually, believe it or not, I think our
One of the
first.
first ones we've done together.
Yeah, this is actually our first like Zoom training call that we've done together, like outside of our team calls. But we are just excited to do this together for the first time in like 3 years of coaching. But as you're coming on, say good morning. We'd love to see who is all hopping on. All right, you guys. So this is awesome. Well, cool, you guys. So we have a lot to go over today. We talk about, actually, let's kind of review what we've been going through. Last week and yesterday, we've been going through a lot of mindset. A lot of thinking up here and kind of really helping us with our mindset, because just so you guys know, the formula, and we go through this a lot, is mindset plus skill set plus action equals success. And so, starting off with last week, we went through a lot of mindset, and now we're going to start shifting it. And we're now going to go through the skill set, because that's just as important as we start to move forward in our business, just knowing exactly what we need to do and making sure that all of our ducks are lined up in a row, and even our systems check. So today's fun. We're going to go through a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of what we do, I know Michelle talked about mindset right there, but mindset's the big part that we have to get over. I mean, what we do is simple, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you all heard that a lot at convention, but we're going to kind of run through some of the structures, the systems that go into place that are simple, but they're not easy, that are going to help us be successful. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot to cover, so we want to make sure that we have time for it all. So we're going to go ahead and let's share our screen. All right, you guys, we are going to be, let's get in here. All right, let's do this for the beginning. All right, guys. So the power of living in structural tension and systems check. So, like Josh mentioned, a lot of the stuff that we did was really in our mindset. And now we're going to get into the power of really living in structure and what that looks like. A lot of times we come into this not really understanding or knowing what that looks like. So we're going to break it down for you. That way you come in and now leave this today, like knowing exactly how to structure your day for success. But first, let's go ahead and get into structural tension and what that is.
So for change in life, for anything, any type of goal that you want, you need motivation for that, right? If you have that intense emotional conflict, so something you want really bad, let's talk to kind of like with weight loss. So you have this intense emotional conflict. You want to lose 100 pounds. So you get into action. And as you get closer to your goal, you might have 10 pounds left to lose. So it gets a lot easier to maybe go out and have pizza with the boys, or a girls' date. Hey, this cheesecake is a good idea, because there's not as much emotional conflict as you get closer to that goal. So it makes it a lot harder for you to actually reach the goal. That's why the less emotional conflict that you get into, the less action that there is. So when it comes to finding that motivation for change, we need that emotional conflict. That's why it's always good to constantly create new goals as you get closer to your original goal. So how do we stay motivated? You really stay motivated by focusing only on what you want, not focusing on what you don't want. You have to have legitimate goals. You want to lose that 100 pounds. Not that I don't want to be heavy anymore. You want to lose 100 pounds. So you want to know your why. You want to know, not only when you're creating that why, you want to know exactly what it's going to be, not that it's going to be limited. So it's not about willpower. It's about structure, meaning you need steps. You need to know what it is you want. It's not hey, well, maybe I might be able to go without doing this. It's really about that structure. Um, and then, like I said, you constantly want to be setting daily, weekly, and monthly goals using SMART. SMART is basically you want specific goals. They have to be measurable. They have to be achievable, realistic, time oriented. You have to say, I want to, be able to build my business to a point where I'm making $5,000 by, October 15th, and I want to be able to leave my job, by the 30th. I mean, specific goals. That's what's going to help you actually reach those goals. So, yeah, click it again. But you have to know, where you're at and know what you want. The structural tension is really about knowing your current reality, being honest with yourself. You have to be clear about kind of your goals, and not really lie when it comes to what we want. And don't change your goal from what you want to what you think is possible. If somebody says, I want to buy a house, next summer, that doesn't really give a measurable goal, or how big of a house they want or where they want it. Or so you have to get really specific with your goals. And every day we have choices, which we hear a lot of. Do it anyway. You hear a lot of do the work. For those that might not have seen it, you might DTW or DIA. We really have those choices. And if we have to wake up not knowing what our motivation is or what our goals are, we might not get into action. It's going to be a crapshoot pretty much.
So speaking of choices, guys, we've got 3 different types of choices when it comes to structural tension. Number 1 is we got a fundamental choice. What is that? That really defines the state of our being, defines what we're willing to fight for. What are we going to fight for, and how we feel overall. It's that big crystal clear picture. And then we've got our primary choices. This is something that we want more than other things. Something that, these are the specific goals of what we want in life. Followed by that, we've got secondary choices. And these are the actions that are really going to take and support. These are the choices that we're going to create. Those are the action steps that we're going to create, even if we don't want to, right? Those things that, maybe pulling us back, or maybe those things that, that we need to do, but we just, don't feel like it. Those are the choices that we want to do that are going to support our primary choices, where ultimately are going to support our fundamental choices. Because obtaining any goal or desire you want really has nothing to do with emotions, or really power, but it has everything to do with structure. So I wanted to kind of give you guys an example as far as what a structural tension looks like, just to give you an idea of how you're going to create your own, because we start with that fundamental choice, that what we're willing to fight for. And for mine, let's take it back to 2016, the year we started coaching. For me, I wanted to be stress-free. I wanted to be financially stable, and I wanted that happiness. That was my fundamental goal. That was my top goal of what I wanted to feel. That was the state of being that I truly wanted to desire more than anything in life. And then we're going to take it down to our current reality. Where are we currently at? And that is something that, we want to be crystal clear. We want to be really honest with ourselves on where are we currently, because that is going to be what you want to get crystal clear on. And you really want to be honest with yourself so that you know where you start and where you want to finish. So our current reality is 0 in savings. We're constantly fighting, stressed over finances, 0 time freedom, 0 family freedom. That was our life. And I knew that current reality was never going to support that fundamental choice that I wanted out of life. So now let's get into primary choices. Now, these are the choices that, these are basically our vision. This is our desired goal, what we want out of life, what we also want to be crystal clear on. Okay, so bringing Josh home, having the choice to work, making $10,000 monthly. It wasn't necessarily the dollar value, but what that represented to us. And being able to afford private school for our son. That was the goal that we entitled. That was the goal that I really wanted out of life. But now we've got our secondary choices. These are the action steps that's going to propel us to get to our primary goal, which is going to support our fundamental choice. So we knew we needed to attend convention, attend all boot camps and trainings, connect with our coach Justin daily. You know, the 3 3 3, no excuses, you guys, every single day, even when I didn't feel like it. I need to share my story with 3 people daily, strong client support, and talk to everyone about coaching. So these were the action steps that I knew that I needed to do every single day. No excuses. Living that life in structure to be able to support what my ultimate goal was, what that fundamental choice was of how that state of being that I was in. And what we'll also get into, guys, is that, you know, this was in 2016. What happened when I got closer to my goal? Obviously, we don't want to stop, you know, right? We don't want to just get comfortable with how we're feeling. Like, you know what? I'm almost there. I'm just going to kind of take a seat back and kind of relax. No way. That is actually the most critical time. That's when you don't want to be complacent. You want to keep going towards your next goals. You want to create new goals. Let's create a new structural tension chart. So, you know, this is really a layout of what structural tension looks like, you know, and I want to give you guys an idea too, you know, as we you know, kind of talk about this and kind of talk about structure and getting into structure. You know, you're the CEO of your business, right? So look at every other multi-million-dollar company. You've got Apple, you've got Nike, you've got Adidas. They go in not just, you know, hey, let's see what happens. Let's kind of just start this business and let's just kind of roll with it. Not at all. They go by a financial plan. They've got a business plan. They've got action steps. They've got everything to be that multi-million-dollar business. And that's exactly what you want to do with your business. You are the CEO. You know, you want to create a multi-million-dollar business. You got to get into action. You got to develop an action plan. You got to know from where you are to where you want to be. So you guys, structural tension is not about you. You know, it's about our goals. And as we know, you guys, our goals don't care how we feel. You know, action really is that key ingredient, because if our goals don't come from fruition and they don't come from act and getting into action, you know, we're only just dreaming them. You know, they're only just there on a piece of paper. We're not really doing anything about it, because the simple truth is that your goals don't care how you feel, right? And your emotions are not really going to give you the desired outcome. If we start to, you know, wake up in our day and feel like, oh, you know, I don't feel like doing this, you know, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, nothing is going to get done. So you want to make sure that you are living your life in that structure, because, you know, with propaganda, pumping yourself up, positive self-talk and hype, they're not reality. Those are all emotions. Those are all of the things that, you know, we're going to feel like, hey, you know, they're all actually irrational. And they're just emotional based. It's just a temporary emotion, and it's not going to propel you forward towards your goals. Because when you're thinking about what you truly desire and what you want to think about yourself, it's not relevant, you know. And quite frankly, a lot of us have that negative chatter, right? You know, we start to think the negative, and we start to think lots of things up here. And we really want to get good at cutting that chatter out to really propel us to where we want to go. And that's really being structured in the way that we work every single day, you know, because kind of going over the creative process, you know, what you think about yourself is not relevant. You know, that's emotions, and emotions do get the best of you. And if you actually let your day be based on emotions, you're going to see that you're not going to get anywhere where you want to be. You know, the only thing that we really truly desire and what we want to achieve, the only thing that holds us back is that action. You know, we can say it all day long. I want this, I want that. These are my goals. But if you're not getting into action, you're not doing it anyway, and you're not doing it every single day, nothing is going to come our way. So let's really dive into, you know, looking more and moving forward is, where do you want to go? You know, be crystal clear on that goal of where you want to be, on your fundamental choice of what that desired state of outcome is, your desired state of being, and really look into those primary choices. What is your overall goal? What is your vision? And now get crystal clear on where you are and how we're going to take those steps going up to get there.
So guys, we create by being crystal clear on our goals, right? We have to have, just like I said, those specific, those measurable goals, the SMART goals, right? We got to know exactly what we want. And it's not necessarily, I mean, for some people it might be things, or it might be, you know, money, or it might be this, or it might be that. But for just about everybody that I've talked to, it's really about what that money represents. You know, for us, Michelle showed us our structural tension chart. It's given us the ability to stay at home, be both stay-at-home parents, right? Be able to be here for our child, go to every soccer game. That's what the dollar amount meant to us. So be clear on your goal, right? $10,000. What does that mean? It means X, Y, and Z. So when we're thinking of our goals, let's just actually think of something that actually means something to you, not necessarily just a number because that sounds cool. You hear Jamil talk all the time about needing to hit $18,000 because that would, less stress in the house. He'll be able to keep Ezra, all of the stuff that we hear all the time. But the idea behind it is be really clear about what that represents. Start with a blank slate, write down all of your goals. Get rid of the whole should and need. Replace it with choose, right? I choose to do this, not I should do this, because that you're going to tell yourself a whole different way in your own mind, and it's going to be more motivating that way as well. But goals and actions, they have to be measurable, right? We know that if we need this, or if this is our goal, this is what we want, there are steps that are going to get us there. So we want to make sure that our goals and actions are exactly that, and they're going to be measurable. So before, like I said earlier, before we get to before we reach our goal, we are going to set new goals, because that's what's going to continue to keep us pushing forward, especially as we have that less emotional conflict. And then we always hear, as Optivians, we lead from the future, we act in the now. So we always want to start with the end in mind. We want to look at where we're at and the end in mind. This is XYZ goal. This is where we're going to be. And then you're easily able to run backwards and see, all right, this is what I need to do to end up getting there. So what do you really want? The 5 questions to ask yourself. What do I want? Why do I want it? Meaning, what does it represent? When do I want it? We are talking about moving out of the state. And last year it was, we're going to move to Texas next summer, right? It's next summer. And we kept saying next summer, next summer, next summer. We haven't talked about it yet, but we're going to set a specific date to when we're going to move somewhere. She has to figure out where we're going to go first. But instead of saying next summer, when do you want it? Put a specific date to it. And what are you willing to do to get to that goal, right? And are you willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains? Meaning, I've heard somebody say this before, are you willing to give up the good for the great, or pay the price now to be able to pay any price later? There are sacrifices that are going to go into building this. So simply put, structural tension is really just, where do you want to be? Your goals, your visions, your why up at the top. And at the bottom is your current reality. Where are you now? Right? And how am I going to get there? The daily action steps. We all know the action steps. Like we said, it is simple, but it's not easy. The idea is we need to be really connected with our why, our vision, our goal. That's what's going to drive the daily action steps. That's what's going to be a lot of the do it anyway and do the work, and your feelings or your goals don't care how your feelings feel. Is that it?
Your goals don't care how you feel.
How you feel. There you go.
All right, guys. Go back. All right, guys, let's get into structure versus emotions. All right. So I want to see a show of hearts on our live. Is how many of you want to build an ultra mega business and help a ton of people find freedom in all areas of their life? Because when it comes to building a big business, we need to understand structure versus emotion. And like we keep saying, your goals don't care how you feel. And we're going to be living our life in structure. Like I've mentioned, all of these multi-million-dollar business, they all live in structure. There's no way that they just show up and just kind of go with the flow and kind of just see what their days happen. No, they've got an action plan. They know exactly what they want to do. They are built on structure so that they truly succeed. And that is why they are so successful. So structure is really a way of organizing our life to what makes sense to us. We wake up with a sense of ownership. We wake up with a sense of order and really organization of our lives. Because how many times do we wake up and we're just like, we don't really feel like today. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't feel like it. Well, guess what's going to get done if you feel that way? Nothing. And so it's really important to understand that the lack of structure is really basing our day out of emotion. And that is for us, that's going to make us feel unmotivated. That's going to make us feel distracted. And often it's going to lead us to doing everything at the last minute if you can get anything done at all. So of course, flexibility is important, but structure is really necessary for creating a sense of stability and really balance into your life. Really working alongside your calendar, knowing those rocks in your calendar and knowing what you need to, what was that? What you need to really have in your life and kind of know what goes on in your day-to-day basis. Waking up and understanding and knowing, looking at your calendar and being like, okay, I know exactly what's going to get done today. That is your sense of feeling motivated too. When I wake up every single morning and see what exactly my day is all about, that keeps me in structure all day long. And we're going to kind of go over some tips for you guys as well, as far as how we can really schedule your time and where you can build your life on structure weekly, daily, setting rocks in our calendar so that you feel less stressed and you feel more prepared for your day. All right, so step one, you guys. So these are 3 simple steps of what you want to do starting when you start to create the structure in your life and in your day. Is step 1, identify your available time. Start by really establishing the time that you're available to work. I know some of in this group, we still work full time. That's okay, but stop focusing on when you can't work and when you can't schedule time, and start focusing on when you can. How much time we spent on our business should really reflect our personal and business goals. So for example, if you want to, build an integrated presidential business, you got to work with your support team and you got to create that structure that really helps you propel in your business moving forward. Knowing exactly like, hey, if you want to build an integrated presidential business, that it's not going to take 30 minutes a day. You're going to need a lot more than 30 minutes a day. So it really has to define on what exactly you want out of your life, and you need to make those time rocks in your calendar. I know every single day, there's busy, we're busy, we've got school, we've got kids, we've got work, we've got so much going on. But let me tell you guys, we came into this business working full time, having a 2-year-old in preschool. Actually, no, he wasn't even in school yet. And we still built this business because we knew what we wanted. We got crystal clear with our goals. We gave up the good for the great, and we knew exactly what we were going to need to do in order to get that life. There was times where I had that mom guilt and I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not spending that much time with my kid. Or there was times where we couldn't do things, or we had to say no to a lot. Friends would invite us out. We had to keep saying no. We had to put big, little getaways on hold. We gave up so much to be able to live this integrated life. So really start identifying the time that you're available and stop focusing on when you can't work. Sometimes we wake up in that, bad state of being, or we're, off the wrong side of the bed and we're thinking, you know what, I've got a busy day. I've got work. I've got kids. Kids are in school right now. I've got this going on. I don't have time to work my business today. Well, guess what? You always have time to work your business. If that's something that you want to create, and I'm assuming that everyone that is on here right now wants to create and make a business. So start identifying the available time that you have. Second, step 2 is schedule essential actions. Block out those actions that we absolutely, must have and must block out in order to grow the business of your desire. These are rocks in your calendar that are not optional. These are rocks in your calendar that are training calls. These are, coach and client check-ins. These are, Monday night leadership call and trainings. These are all the action steps and the rocks in your calendar that you absolutely need, and they are not optional at all. And schedule 3, or step 3, schedule income producing activities. We all know income producing activities. These are activities that are not going to be delegated. These are not going to be avoided. This is exactly what you need to do in your secondary choices that's going to propel you forward. These are the action steps that you need to do every single day. No excuses. That's going to get you to that end goal. So rocks to your calendar, an example, guys, of what you want to insert into your calendar every single week for every single day. 30 minutes of connection time built in daily for 3, 3, and 3. That's a must do every single day. If you want to grow that business, whether you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it may be, squeeze in that pocket of time to get this done every single day. Follow-up day. We all need to have a follow-up day, right? We hear follow-up Friday all the time. That should be a day that you're going to follow up with every single person you've ever talked to about plan, and to start that genuine conversation with them. You need to have a check-in day, a backup check-in day. These are for your client calls. Client support is so crucial in what we do. It is so pivotal in the growth because, people are entrusting you with their trust. They are trusting you that you're going to help them in their health goals. So you need to have those scheduled days and not just do it as a whatever. Or if, I'm just going to send a text here and there. We all know that. Do not be that text message coach. You want to have a day that you're checking in. And I know, all their schedules may be kind of all over the place too. So you may not just have one day. You may have, one or two back in days, depending on how many clients you have. You need to have pockets of time built in for health assessments and coach scores. Every single day, maybe you have a time from 5 to 6 where that's, and it may not be taken up every day, but, at least you have that pocket of time that if someone out of nowhere just comes to you and says, hey, I want to learn about this program, you have that pocket of time in your day or the next day to be able to give them that. Team training each week, like you mentioned, leadership call, Optavia training, team call, if you have your team calls, August Madness, those are rocks in your calendar that are not flexible. They are in there and that needs to be done. Pockets of time for August Madness action steps. You've been having action steps every day, which has been amazing to have for our growth. So you want to actually set out time, pockets of time to be able to do those action steps. MAP. Can't emphasize the importance of maps every single month. Your coach should not have to chase you down for a map. You should have that filled out and scheduled with it at the beginning of the month, every single month. No ifs, ands, or buts, just like your structural tension chart. This is a plan that's going to propel you forward. It's an action plan. If you think about it too, you guys, what a structural tension is, it is a visionary of your map. You've got your current reality, you've got your goals up here, and then you've got everything in between that's going to propel you forward. That your map is literally a secondary structural tension chart. And so that needs to be done regardless, obviously senior coach and above. And then your mid-month pulse check, you got to really see where you're at. The mid of the month, you really need to see what where you're at and what happened. And, maybe the first couple of weeks of your map and kind of see, okay, this is where I'm at mid-month and this is where I want to be due to my map. Let's see how much further I have to get there. Obviously, if you get to your goals mid-month, amazing. We always want to reach our goals by the 20th of the month. That is your true break. Anything over that is really an added bonus. So what you want to do is you want to have that mid-month pulse check and connect with your coach and say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm still a little ways away from my goal. Let's work the rest of the month to really get there. So this is kind of like a little bit of an example and honestly a tip for you guys on how to really structure your calendar to where it could make more sense for you is, color coordinate time blocks. These are things that you can color coordinate as far as, different times. For example, the do not miss, the not flexible, the ones that you really want to be on are put those in red. Those are the time blocks. Hey, I know that I need to be on here. These are, Dr. A's leadership call, Optavia training call, your team call, boot camps and trainings, even client or coach check-in days. Those are the rocks in your calendar that are do not miss. So maybe highlight those in red. So every single day going in, hey, I know exactly what's going on in my day. I know exactly what I need to, where I need to show up. And then even a next color, maybe green. Green can be your floating rocks. Remember, they're flexible, but they're not optional, meaning you want to still get it done every single day. But what's really cool, you guys, is that those are the floating rocks that you can actually move around. Those are the floating rocks that maybe you wake up in the morning like, oh my God, I have a doctor's appointment at 9:30 now. What do I do? I've got this going on. Move it for a different time. Really start coordinating your times for your days. So, say I had an appointment at 9:30. Well, you know what? I know I have an appointment. Obviously, I can't miss that. But that is my floating rock. It is in green. I know that I can move it around, but I know that I'm not going to skip it. Because what happens if you skip one day, you're going to skip every single day. So if you say, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, what happens tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But if you know that you have it there and you're going to float it around, let me tell you guys, it makes all of the difference. Things like 3, 3, and 3, that's a floating rock. Being intentional with your hundreds list, that's my intentional messaging. Our daily client text. Obviously we want to have that in the morning, first thing when we wake up, and then a follow up day and time. So the day should not be optional. Although sometimes it could be, obviously it's not optional, but it could be flexible. But have that time, and have that as a floating rock. So you wake up on your follow up day and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get this done, and kind of go in knowing I'm going to do this. This is going to be on my day. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this. And then miscellaneous, guys, there's obviously stuff that goes on in life. We've got school pickup times, we've got family time. That to me is a rock that needs to be done every single day. Family time is important. plan events, even when it comes to family events and when it comes to Optavia events, and when it comes to business events, those are rocks in your calendar that you want to plan out for. So, as you see, pickup time, like that's going to be in there every single day. That's in red. I cannot miss that, but everything else is like, those are times that you can really gravitate your schedule every single day. So I'm going to give you guys some tips too on building that structure in life and in business. And this is really going to be really helpful for you guys as far as really being organized for the week to come. Plan your week on a Sunday, my friends, because if you find yourself totally unprepared for Mondays, or you find yourself completely unprepared for even the week to come, try really planning the week ahead. Try really seeing if like that really helps you guys in understanding and learning more about, okay, I'm going to plan my week in advance. Let me see how this can help me. Because I know for myself, I use Sundays to prepare for the week so that life feels a lot more organized and a lot less stressed. This is the perfect time to already see what's on your calendar for your week. Maybe your coaches, have booked you. So you can really see, okay, what's going on this week. You can see what's already on your calendar, knowing also your trainings, your coach calls, your client calls, and that makes sure you really have your ducks in a row. Another tip is plan your day the night before. So even if you've already planned out your week, it's really important to put some details in your day as well. Obviously this can be where the floating rocks come into play. Say the night before we're looking at our schedule for the next day, we've got all of these calls scheduled. We've got, certain times, but now we have an appointment that just came up. Life happens. We get it. But now this is a time that you can really be intentional with that day and really start to see when you can plan out for that day. It's going to help you stay on track and figure out exactly what you need to accomplish by the end of the day. So like I said, this is great for moving those floating rocks if you need to. And something that I love is stick to an intentional morning routine, because routines really create consistency in our schedules. They help us with time management and encourage us to really build healthy habits. Your morning routine, it can really keep you sane. It could really help you. And it can, to be honest, it's actually going to make you feel even better if you know that your day is going to be busy. You can really feel good knowing that, you did a few things in the morning to take care of yourself, whether that's personal development, whether that's obviously touching on your business, or some, even doing things around the house, because obviously we have that too. And then make time for self-care, you guys. Here's a reminder of the importance of scheduling self-care into your schedule, because once we actually have the week planned with schedules and we already have, our calls or appointments, you want to give yourself some downtime to recoup too, because we really want to focus on ourselves and give us that me time, because you want to show up every day as your best self, right? You want to show up your best day as your best self in your life, in your business, in your, your kids' life, in your spouse's life, and you can never lead others unless you lead yourself.
So now let's get into the actions, the different things that we're going to do. Let's get into the system, right? There are two sides to your business. There's a left side and a right side. What do we get paid very well to do? Acquire clients, support clients, acquire coaches, support coaches, right? Couldn't get more simple than that. How do we acquire clients? Well, acquiring clients, is that you?
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. But so acquiring clients, right? This is how everything starts with what we do. We come on as a brand new coach, we find our first 5 clients, we get our cab, and then one in those 5 clients usually asks about coaching, becomes a coach, stuff like that. But the idea is we start with acquiring clients. What are the ways that we do that? The 3x3x3 minimum, that's a minimum. That's not, hey, if you do this, you're going to be successful. 3x3x3 consistency. No excuses. That's how we find, almost we go out to the masses of people, right? If we can talk to 3 people a day in person and keep letting them know what we're doing, that then we wouldn't need to get out there and post. But that really is what is going to build your business, so people understand who you are and what you do. We really want to share our story with anyone that will listen, with anybody with ears, pretty much, right? The idea of what we do as coaches, we literally share our story. That's what we're paid to do. We don't sell people food. I mean, there is a transaction, but our job is to share our story with anybody that'll listen, and not necessarily for them to do the plan, right? I want people out there finding other people. Or if somebody's talking about losing weight, they're going to say, hey, you should call Michelle and Josh. Somebody's talking about helping with medications. Hey, you should call Michelle and Josh. You know why? Because I shared my story. And my story consists mostly not of the 40 pounds I lost. It consists mostly of what I do as a coach. That's how my story um, gets out there when I share it with people. Schedule coffee dates, lunch dates, dinner dates. Basically, hang out with people. Get out, do fun things. Get to a point where you can talk about your story, right? Again, that's what we do. We share our story. But yeah, get out there and be social with people. Brand yourself on social media, right? Michelle's in a mom's group, and somebody in there isn't even her friend. And I think just from Michelle participating in the group, somebody else posted about, hey, I need to lose weight or this baby weight. Somebody tagged Michelle and said, hey, Michelle can help you. And Michelle wasn't even friends with this girl. So if you really brand yourself on social media, when people think of health, when people think of fitness, when people think of wellness, they're going to think of you, and they're going to tag you in things. They're going to tell people about what you're doing so that you can help. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals, right? We talk to our clients at least weekly. I mean, you're texting throughout the week, maybe, you're building that relationship, but don't be afraid to ask for referrals. Who's noticing? Who do you want to see get healthy? What are people saying? What do you tell them? But yeah, don't be afraid to ask for those referrals. And amazing client support. I mean, like legit client support. It's going to lead to referral based business. Do we go into what client support looks like?
Yeah, you guys, and fill that funnel. So starting new clients. So let's do a systems check on starting new clients. This has got to be done from the get-go, you guys, because remember, you are building a duplicatable business, and everything that you do is going to follow. So you want to make sure that you are doing right. So let's get into exactly our systems checks for starting new clients. We're going to immediately place that order. And let me tell you guys, kit with books. Books are not negotiable. This is the true program. The true program is the books. The food is just the tool. The food's just going to help them get there. But if they don't order the books and they don't order the true program, that's what's going to happen. They're going to go back into yo-yo dieting, right? So we get them the kits with the books. We're going to send them that welcome text. We're going to have them text up to be of 30. We're going to get them the condiment and healthy list the night before video. We're going to send them all of this. We're going to add them to your Facebook client support and whatever that group is, if you welcome them with a picture or not. And you're going to welcome them. You want to introduce them to that component of the community and really see what we're all about. We're going to create a 3-way messenger, you guys. So it's going to be you, and really depending where you are in your business, if you're a newer coach, this is something that you definitely want to do, is create a messenger group with yourself, your new client, and your coach or mentor coach, because this is going to allow that client to really see that additional support. And it really helps with integration too. Let me tell you guys that. We're going to track their order, and we're going to follow up and remind them to watch the video, that night before. And then we're going to have them read the guide, and we're going to schedule that night before. And then we've got our journey kickoff, right before that journey kickoff night before call. We're going to set up the expectations. Now, this is so vital to their growth, their first month, their first week. You want to set up the expectations of exactly what's going to happen day to day, because let me tell you, this is where maybe a lot of confusion goes wrong or misunderstanding through the client, and they know now what to do, and maybe they just kind of like check out and don't text you back. You don't get on those calls with them daily. So you want to set up exactly what is going to happen from today until day 8. You're obviously going over the night before stuff. Day 1, you're going to be sending them a text, and you're also going to check in with them that night. You're going to check in with them day 1 through 4, because you want to make sure that they're doing everything on track to reach fat burn when they should reach fat burn, right? When people kind of hear them, they're like, oh, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. I'm going to absolutely check in. You want to set that expectation that you're going to check in with them every single day, that you're going to send those daily 1 through 8 text messages with them every single morning. That's non-negotiable. You want to set them up for exactly knowing what to expect their first week, and even let them know that you're going to check in at that week 1, and you guys are going to have a celebration tip call or whatever it is that you call it, that you're going to have that call with your coach, because you want to make sure that obviously we're going to run through their week, we're going to celebrate them, but we also want to make sure if there's anything that we need to tweak for them to make sure they reach their goals when they want to, or when being in fat burn and kind of all that stuff. So we want to make sure that they're doing everything 100%. When you set them those expectations, they know what's going on. They know, hey, this is part of the program. This is exactly what I need to do. You will see that you have no trouble connecting with them. You will have no problems getting with them on that 1 week tip call, and that they're going to do exactly what you say, because you've postured that early on. And then daily text, you're going to set reminders on your phone, in our calendars, because that's what we're going to start doing. Is we're going to live our life in structure, including our daily text messages. That's something that you do not want to forget. How many times, and I'll be honest, I'll be guilty. I was guilty of it too at the beginning, when I was living my life so out of structure and kind of all over the place, that there were times like, oh my God, I forgot to send that text message. It's like 6 o'clock at night, and it's true. That's what happens when you really don't live your life in structure. You forget a lot. I mean, I'm sorry, but the older we get, the more that we forget. And so if you think you wake up and you're like, okay, I know exactly all the calls that I need to have, I know exactly the text message I need to send, guess what happens? We're probably going to forget probably 60% of that. So that's why it's super important to schedule all these, put all these in your calendar, so that as soon as you wake up, okay, I'm going to send out these text messages. You know how good it feels to check that off the calendar or check that off the list? It's amazing. And our system checks, if a client's not yet, how many we had of those, right? A lot of people are just not ready. That's okay. No big deal. If they're not ready, they're not ready. We don't want to push them if they're not ready. So we have a system check for that. Let's send that follow-up email. If you don't know what that is, reach out to your mentor team. That follow-up email is amazing, you guys. The video that's attached to that follow-up email, I've had so many women be like, you know what, I need to show my husband. He's kind of part of the finances. I need to make sure. That's what I say. You know what? Have your husband check out that video so he's more comfortable knowing what you do when you want to start, what you're going to be doing. And guess what? They all come back, oh yeah, my husband's on board. So that follow-up email is crucial. This should be for every single person that is a not yet. We're going to add them to our client support group always. That is the only time that you're going to add someone. Obviously, if they say yes, or if they're not yet. Only when you've had a health assessment should you be adding someone to that page. That client support group is going to do the layering in itself. And what's really cool, something that you can do too, and Gina talked about this last night, was something that we do as well. I say someone's a not yet, and maybe they have 50 pounds to lose, or they're a diabetic, or we know how much this can change their lives. We go to our client support group, we go to the top, and we search for a story that's just like theirs. Say they're diabetic, we go to diabetic or diabetes, and something pops up, someone sharing their victory, sharing their success. We comment on that. And guess what that does? That brings it up to the top, notifications to the top. So now when the person you just talked to, say Susie, you just talked to her, she wasn't ready. She's a diabetic. She's going to go in there. And now that's one of the first stories that she's going to see. And guess what? That's going to inspire her. And that's what this group is for. It's for inspiration to help people. And so that is going to inspire her. And guess what's going to happen? Maybe a little bit down the line, she's going to be more intrigued and be like, you know what? I've seen enough. This group is amazing. I need to do this program. And then schedule a time to follow up. After you send that email, let them know, hey, are you good to follow up in 2 days, 48 hours? Say today's Tuesday. Are you good to follow up on Thursday? When's a good time? Follow up with them, and actually follow up when you tell them that you're going to follow up with them. And then you're going to obviously add them to our follow-up section in our binder, because we're going to do follow-up Fridays or follow-up Thursdays, whatever day you do. And they're going to be in there, so you're never going to forget about them. And you guys, the most important thing ever, continue to build that relationship. That is what our business is based off of, is building relationships. So you want to continue building that relationship, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's through text message. Don't make it all about health. Don't make it awkward. Don't make it uncomfortable. Remember, they were your friend first, more than anything. So just continue that relationship. Continue to put yourself in front of them, because guess what? Like Josh, tells the story, is that when you go to the grocery store, say I gave him a list, and then I call him, I say, hey, pick up milk, and it's not on his list. Well, unless he goes in front of the store or in front of the aisle, he's going to forget to grab milk. Same kind of thing with this client, or this, Susie, say she completely forgot about this, but if she's constantly seeing you, you're going to be that reminder that she needs to get her health in check. So just remember to build that relationship, continue to reach out to them, continue to be their friend. That's most important.
And to piggyback off of that, what people say is in any sale, right? Even though we're not in sales, it's usually the 7th to the 10th time that you follow up that the sale actually occurs. right? So there is a transaction that happens in what we do. We're a service kind of driven company, but you need to follow up. You need to continue to build that relationship. Understanding your client to coach ratio, this goes into acquiring coaches as well. We did acquiring clients, supporting clients, acquiring coaches. 20% of your clients are going to inquire about coaching, right? We looked at our numbers. It's a little below that. But what Optavia has noticed over the years is 20% of the people that come on and that become clients are also going to want to coach or be interested in coach, or sooner or later will end up coaching. So look at these numbers. Look at kind of where you're at with active clients. Kind of see it? Now look over to the right. That's how many potential coaches you have sitting in that area. So what I would definitely do is not decide for them if coaching would be right. Plant the seed, water it, and we're going to find out if coaching would be good for somebody, right? Look for the people that are active in your client support group. Look for the people that are killing it on program. Look for people that have big spheres of influence. Those are the ones that are going to be in this area right here with your possible health coaches.
Got to piggyback off that. The reason why we put this slide into this is because this is part of systems check, you guys. This is part of our business. It's understanding our client to coach ratio, understanding that we are not a weight loss program, that we are a life program, and then we offer people so much more than weight loss. So when we start to understand and really get a sponsoring culture within us that we can bring onto our team, you're going to see such a difference in how you truly change someone's life. So as you go through systems check with, acquiring clients and supporting clients, now we really want to understand our pool of, our funnel of clients that we have, and now how we're going to move them over to becoming a coach. And that's really setting you up for success. When we start to share with everyone this full trilogy, and we start to share with every single person on our hearts that we know on our client list. I mean, people that are rocking client or rocking program, people that aren't rocking program, you want to be sure that you're sharing coaching with every single person and really understand the ratios of what you truly have when it comes to coaches.
So when it comes to acquiring coaches, right? How do you do this? I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy. We need to put together a new list of coach candidates every month, right? We can only talk to the same people or wish for the same people or hope that these same people that are on every single map that we put together, I mean, blink at the screen if you've seen those maps. But we can only hope for these people for so long, right? We need to plant the seed, water it, and wait for it to grow. We're going to continue to water along the way, but every month you need a new list of coaches. I always talk about the 3x3x3. I always say buy one, because you need to be approaching at least one person a day about health coaching, right? So every month, why not put together a new list of 30 names? Be consistent with the I plus Q equals A. If you know what I plus Q equals A is, you identify, you qualify, and then you approach. So being consistent with identifying people that one would be good with what at what we do, one that would help us with our mission. Identify the people that need what we have as well, where Optavia can open up some time freedom or some money freedom or what that money represents for them. Then we got to approach them, right? We can't get ready to get ready to get ready. We got to tell people why we think that they'd be amazing at what coaching is. And during a full share, we have to share the full aspect of the trilogy, right? Not just the healthy body. I tell my story, and the majority of my story is about health coaching, right? Oh yeah, I also lost 40 pounds in under a month. But share all aspects of the trilogy, right? You're doing your potential clients a disservice if you do a health assessment and your part on there, you only share about the weight that you lost. And then also when it comes to acquiring coaches, when taking a referral, I mean, the goal is ultimately never to take a referral, right? We're always going to ask them, are you going to coach them or am I? So, and it says there, our goal is never to actually take a referral. More than likely, the referral is going to ask the referee all the questions anyways, because they have the relationship there. You're going to get paid for that, but wouldn't it be better to bring on another coach and teach them how to help their friend? But live out loud, guys. Look at your Facebook page. Do you look like an infomercial for weight loss? Literally, after this call, hop on Facebook, scroll through there, look at and see what people see when they go to your page. Are you living out loud? Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances? Are you doing your live videos, traveling, posting fun time with the kids that you have? Or are you just before and after, before and after, before and after? So you want to sound fun. You want to look fun. You want to look like, not like you have it together, but you want to be attractive. You want people to want what you have, right? We're not just selling a diet. And then you want to use the soft skills, of layering that full trilogy with every single client. The soft skills are real important when it comes to asking questions, when it comes to relating to people, when it comes to tell me more about that. Finding more about what it is that they would like to create in their life besides just health.
Yeah, and when it comes to soft skills too, guys, start layering early on. Start telling them, hey, you sound like a coach already. Or gosh, I see all the support that you're giving in, the client support page. You would be an amazing coach. Really giving those soft skills early on and really putting in their head like they're gonna make, everyone wants to be, recognized, everyone wants to feel good and complimented, right? So giving them that that support and really showing them, hey, like, when you're ready, you're going to make a phenomenal coach. You have the heart to help others. I already see how you post in, or how you're supporting all these people in our client support page. So really start early on and, really start, it's almost going back to the I plus Q equals A. Identifying those people, qualifying those people, and just approaching them. Hey, I think you would be amazing at what you do. Would you be open to exploring what that looks like? That is the key word, exploring. Rather than saying, hey, you should do what I do, come be a coach. You want to show people that, hey, let's just explore and see what that looks like. If you feel like it's not for you, that's okay, but let's just explore and see how this can better you in your life. And like Josh mentioned, live your life out loud, my friends. What do people see when they come see your page? Your life does not have to be extravagant. You don't have to be constantly traveling and doing this for people to want what you have, but show that you're a real person. And just show that you're passionate about health, right? Just show that, hey, I'm not going to be slanging all over my Facebook page and just do a ton of before and afters. You can tell, and I have seen coaches, you can tell when someone looks like they're selling something. And that is so unattractive to people when it shows that you're selling something, because that is what people are going to be like, get me away. I don't want to be on their page. I don't want to see this because it looks like they're slanging food or they're slanging a program. But when you are truly showing up as your best self and you're sharing all aspects of your life, your kids, your family, if your dogs, your animals, whatever it may be, and then even maybe some healthy recipes, and just showing people, hey, I am a real person. I am just passionate about what I do. I am passionate about health, about helping other people. That is what's attractive, and that's what's going to show people, hey, I want what she has. I got to do this.
So what do we do when we start new coaches? Obviously, it all starts with that Coach Explorer, right? That's where we're digging into their why. What is they're looking for? That and on the meet and greet. After that Coach Explorer, we're buying the business kit. We're doing that before we do any health assessments, right? Because we know not everybody is right now. Sorry, the neighbor's alarm's going off. But yeah, so a lot of people are not yet. So you don't want that person to be frustrated and say, yeah, coaching's not for me. So we're buying that coaching kit right before that first health assessment. Plus, if somebody's ready to place an order, they want to be ready to go. When you bring them on, you want to start we use Facebook Messenger, but start a thread with 2 layers of support at least in that thread, right? Somebody's awake. But yeah, so today's first day of school too. Hooray. But yeah, we start our Facebook message group with them, you, and your coach. That way there's basically enough of support in there. You want to add them to your coaching page, your first 5 or whatever you guys use, your intro to coaching page. Schedule the meet and greet within 24 hours of them buying that kit. that's when they're still excited about doing this and coming on and coaching. You want to use that excitement to get them going fast. On that call, you want to make sure they've already gone through the steps 1 through 3 of the Welcome to Health Coaching link, right? You don't want to be on the call. I mean, you still are going to talk about their why. You don't want to be building a list. You want that list already to be built. You want them to have watched the starting point video or hopped into Optavia Learn or different things like that. So really make sure that before you get on that call, they've already gone through the steps 1 through 3. And on that call, I mean, everyone does it a little differently. On that call, I have them send out the, hey, I don't know if you know, but I lost a couple of pounds recently. I decided I want to help other people. That message for the practice calls. I have them send that out on the call. That way they're already in action. So they don't say, all right, cool. Well, I don't want to offend someone, or I don't want to sound this, or I might be salesy. So that they can't get off the call and then be like, all right, well, I'm not going to do it. We want to get them into action as soon as possible. Doing 2 or 3, of those health assessments. Really the idea of those initial practice calls is not to get people. I can care less if they find clients from those calls. I really want them to learn how to speak Optavia, right? How to run through a health assessment. Because once they're good at that, now we can go to Facebook. And if they already have friends or people looking, now we can post their story. If they don't have a before and after, we post something else. But the idea is, let's get them to Facebook as soon as possible. So they'll do those practice calls with their coach. Then they'll hop back on with me, and we'll talk about, all right, let's go with what we're going to do on Facebook, kind of a Facebook 101 training. And then, all right, let's go to Facebook, and then we'll watch how people are responding. But the idea is to get people into action as soon as possible. Also, adding people to Agents Transformation. When they're ready to place an order, their website's already set up. Once that order is placed, they can set up their Optavia Pay. But a lot of what we do in this is we do it and they watch, they do it and we watch, and then they can go off and they don't do it on their own, but they can do it on their own. They're always going to have that support, but we want to make sure the skills are transferred. So supporting coaches beyond senior coach, right? The idea is we want to help them reach senior coach in their first 30 days so that they get that cap. The $100 bonus, they're going to make about $496 just from their first 5 clients. We want to help them reach that initial goal. And then we want to get on, we want to celebrate them, right? Senior coach is a big thing, right? Getting that cab is a big thing. We want to celebrate them. And on that celebration call, we're going to talk about, where do you want to go from here? Are you having fun? What have you started getting those text messages yet where people are thanking you for the way they feel? We want to celebrate, guys. Senior coach is a big deal. And then we want to go over the systems check. We want to talk about, what do you feel comfortable with? How do you feel with client support? Even if they've only watched a couple of them. But the idea is we want to systems check what they're doing. We want to inspect what we expect. Not that we expect people to, but yeah. And then we want to go over that Facebook 101. If they've already launched onto Facebook, cool. We've probably already gone over this. That just comes to, how do we, reply to comments? How do we thank people for liking our post? How do we take somebody from, a comment or a like to a message to the phone, right? Everybody wants to know, what's it called? How much does it cost? What's it taste like? How long will it take? So we want to train people to be able to get people to the phone. Map calls are a must. Michelle basically said it earlier, but this is your structural tension chart. Your coach has been tricking you into filling out a structural tension chart, which is going to drive you to be successful for the month. Don't miss your map calls. Mid-month map calls, right? Let's see where we're at. Let's adjust. Maybe we've reached that initial goal. Let's set a new goal halfway through the month. But your goal, where you want to be, whatever you finished last month with qualifying points, you want to be that by the 25th of the month. That way you have a week to grow, right? You always want to see at least 10 or 15% growth in your business. But yeah, schedule weekly calls with your coaches as well. That's something that I'm big on. I want my coaches to have a safe space to be able to ask questions, to be able to cry, to be able to celebrate depending on whatever's going on that week. I want to meet with my coach weekly, right? We need to talk. We need to be able to figure out where those goals are, how we're going to get there, and vent, right? Dream with them. Dream, dream, dream. Is that like a Beatles song? But no, the idea is dream. That's what's going to be the driver. That structural tension, those goals.
Yeah, I think that's all we got. But yeah, like Josh said, as far as dreaming, you guys, is, as we get older and we're in the muck of life, we forget to dream. And everyone forgets to dream. We forgot to dream. So that's one thing, like, I last encourage you guys is to dream with every single person you talk to, with your clients, with your coaches. That's really going to be their driving force. And don't forget about dreaming yourself too. The reason, kind of ending that, you guys, is that, the reason why we wanted to do, a little bit of, let me stop my share. Ending with us, as far as, obviously we can create whatever we want. Whatever your desire is possible in this business. Optavia has given so many people a vehicle to build a life of their dreams, build the life that they truly desire. But we have to get good at everything. We've got to get good, obviously, with our mindset and sort of really changing the way that we think and our skill set. We really want to be on cue with everything that we do, because that is what you're going to be transferring over to your new clients, or to your new coaches, and clients who are training to be coaches, right? So everything that you want to do is you want to live in structure. I promise you that if you have not lived in structure yet, or your schedule is all over the place, you don't have a Google calendar or what type of calendar to structure your day, you are missing out. Because let me tell you, you're going to see the biggest difference when it comes to yourself, how you feel. Because if we're all over the place and we're not organized, let me tell you, it drives me crazy. I'm so overwhelmed in my day. I'm feeling like I have so much to do, but no time to do it. I don't know when I'm going to get stuff done. This will even help you when it comes to not just the structuring of your day, but it's going to help you as far as how you feel. Your emotions are going to go out the door, right? Because we're going to know that we do not live in emotion. We need to live in structure. The emotions should just go out the door. We're going to wake up sometimes and we're going to be on the other side of the bed and we're going to feel like, I don't want to do today. Well, guess what? Your goals, don't care. Your goals are still going to be there. They're not going to propel forward until you truly say, all right, I'm getting up and I'm getting this done. So I really encourage you guys, and we're going to have some action steps in the group, but I really encourage you guys to really start with your day of structure every single day. Create a structural tension, know what you want, what your goals are, what your dreams are, because we don't even know, how are we going to get there? You have to be crystal clear on what you want. And then lastly is, really start to think of everything we went through in systems check, and really start to think, am I doing this? Or am I doing that? Or am I doing this? What am I lacking in? What have I not been doing? And really go back, and it's never too late to start new. It's never too late to do that.
Yeah. And it's not about picking and choosing what we want to do. We're just picking and choosing, are we doing or are we not doing? Because that's how you're going to grow a business. And this business is so cool. It's so unique. You can literally spend, we talked about giving up the good for the great. You can spend 5 years building a business that will pay you for the rest of your life, right? Think about that. You pass on, you can will that business down to your children. That's what we're trying to build with this. Something that is, not only the money wise, but now we're able to help quite a few people, right? We're able to join that Optavia mission. So guys, thanks for having us on today. Hopefully we brought value. Hopefully we can start living in structure. So
yeah, you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon.